The array of Steve Reich music on show features proverb, a medieval chant transformed into a sensuous ballet with the help of an electric organ and Reich's hallmark, pulsating rhythm and dissonant harmonies. The festival will conclude with the world premiere of a work dedicated to the memory of the murdered American journalist Daniel Pearl, taken hostage and killed by Islamic militants in Pakistan 4 years ago. I asked Steve Reich whether this was his statement about 9/11 and the war on terror.
Well, Daniel Pearl is not 9/11. Daniel Pearl is Daniel Pearl, because 9/11 is one incident, Iraq is one battle. There's a larger war going on, and it began with the Muslim Brotherhood back in the 1920s. This is an incident that walked into my life and became part of my life. So I'm dealing with it, and it deals with all of these phenomena, just as a memorial and as a remembrance for one innocent victim.
Daniel Pearl was himself a musician, and it was his father who asked Reich to write a piece in memory of his son. It's based on sung phrases from Pearl's own writing and the Old Testament book of Daniel, with its doom-laden story of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Iraq.
I began to realize that this dark dream of Nebuchadnezzar was really the world that we live in, the world where my son and my granddaughter could have been killed, along with 3,000 innocent people when a plane plowed into the World Trade Center, where friends that I know in Bali, because I've studied Balinese music, were burned and bombed because they were Hindus, where statues were blown up in Afghanistan because they were Buddhist, where children were held hostage and some killed in Beslan in Russia because they're Christian. And I began to see that this dark dream of Nebuchadnezzar was indeed the world in which we were living.
Steve Reich's unafraid of the big themes of politics and history. One of his most influential pieces is Different Trains, a haunting work juxtaposing sounds of his childhood train journeys between New York and Los Angeles, alongside those made by Europe's Jews to the gas chambers. It uses the real voices of eyewitnesses. But most of Reich's music is synonymous with the beat of modern city living, with its high-energy rhythmic phrases in perpetual loops. Your music, though, seems to be very adaptable to modern life. I mean, you can listen to it in the car while you're washing up. You don't have to hear every single note.
Well,
you don't have, well...
Right, you're right.
It does repeat itself
No.
quite a bit. You get the idea of it.
I'm laughing because really, Chuck Berry said, any old way you use it. That's true. And how many times have you gone into a coffee shop, and you hear in the background, the Fifth Brandenburg Concerto. Makes great coffee clutch music. Now, does that mean Bach's some cheap sellout? No. It means he's so great that even if you don't hear every note, it still works. Or if he's played by Wendy Carlos on the synthesizer and it doesn't sound like a harpsichord at all, it's still great because the notes are great. So any old way you use it, Chuck Berry was right. Whether you're doing the dishes, whether you've got your headphones on and you're following the score, my music's got to work or I'm a failure. No cop-outs allowed.
And what about Steve Reich's legacy? I mean, do you want people to remember your music just for music, or for its political message as well?
I really want people to remember, Music for 18 Musicians and Different Trains and You Are Variations and Tehillim and a lot of other pieces. And that's perhaps what gives me the most satisfaction nowadays is to go to the Boozy and Hawks website or my own website and look at the performances of my music around the world by people I never heard of. And then occasionally to visit Riga or Seoul, Korea, and find there are musicians there who not only can play my music, but can play it well and idiomatically. And then I feel, wow, I haven't been wasting my time.